Good morning, everybody. Hang on just a second. Today I've got something fun to show you. If you're a member of my Patreon group, over there I will have two handouts to give you, another challenge, and then this extra piece that will describe what I'm going to show you today. So what I'm going to show you today is just how to make the outside part of one of these trifold cards. Now, as I say, I like to keep things in my binder so I can keep track of what I'm doing. And I did want to show you, those of you who are my Patreons, when you get a new challenge or a new worksheet downloadable, there will be one of these QR codes on it, so that if ever you want to go back and see, you know, where was the video for this? I know it was somewhere. All you have to do is use something called a QR reader. I don't know if you can see that right up here in the corner. And when I open the QR reader and I point it over that, did you hear that ding? It already went exactly to the website that I wanted it to go to. And I have this link to the exact video as I did on these other ones. The exact video with text offset was this one. So here's what we're going to make. Like I said, you're just going to be making the outside frame of the trifold card, so it'll look like this. You're going to cut it and score it in Cricut Design Space. And this is an example of the kind of card that you can make with it. And I think they're pretty cute. And as you saw, I took them out of this card, that, or the envelope that I get from Staples. This one's cute. This is one I just made for Easter. Okay, so I'll put these back in later. So let's go over to Cricut Design Space and get started. All right, so as I said, for those of you who are my Patreons, you'll get the sizes for all of these pieces that go inside of this. Okay, so right now I'm just going to grab all these and group them and hide them. And this one here says, for this project you'll need a sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and that's for the base. And then you'd need 4 or 5 other coordinating papers or cardstock for the rest of the card. So I'll hide that. So this is basically what you're going to make. You'll notice there's a score line here and here, a score line here and here, and then it's going to cut from here to here and here to here. All right, so let me get my directions out because it's just really helpful to follow these for me also. Get them out of my binder. And this is the second page. The first page has your challenge. All right. So those of you who aren't Patreons, of course, you can take notes and put down the sizes for these, for the basic shape here. So the first thing it says to do is make a base, and let me hide this one. So it says to make a base that's 10.5 inches by 5.5. So I'm going to go to the Shapes tool, get a square, and I'm going to make this square. I'm going to unlock the lock. So I'm going to make it 10.5 and hit enter. And then it's going to be by 5.5 and hit enter. Okay, so you can see this more clearly. I think I'll change the canvas color. So remember to do that. You just come down here where it says blank canvas, click there. And then you just come up here to where it says color and choose a different color. So, okay, that's fine. And now I'm going to change this to white. So I clicked on the card, and I'm going to come up here to where the color swatch is, click on it, and change it to white. And click off. Okay, now the directions say score this base at 1.75 inches. It gives you 4 different numbers, so you'll want to keep track of this. So 1.75. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the shape tool and get the score line. And if you'll recall, the size of this card is 5.5. So I'm going to go ahead and make this the size 5.5. Okay, it wouldn't let me unlock it. I guess you don't have to for a score line. So I'm going to move it up here kind of in line. And now the next thing I need to do, it says to put this base card at 1.75 inches. So what I'm going to do is come up here to the Y and change that to 0. Oh, and the other thing I need to do also is to click on the card, and I'm going to change its position so it's at the 0, 0 position. So that means it's the uppermost corner. And then again, I'm going to click on the score line. I have it at the 0 position for Y, which means it starts at the very tippy top. And I said I wanted that to score at 1.75. So I'm going to change the X position to 1.75, enter. Okay, we have our first score line done. I'm going to duplicate that one, and I'm going to make it the Y position be 0 again, because that puts it up at the tippy top. And then the next dimension I need to put this at is 3.5. And like I said, you can either be copying this down, or for $1, join us over on Patreon and you'll get the directions for free. Well, for $1. All right, for the next one, I'm going to duplicate this again. And I'm going to come up here and make this a 0. And I'm going to make this 7 for the position. Hit enter. And for the last one, I'm going to duplicate it again. And I'm going to make that at the 0 position, so it's at the tippy top, so the Y position is 0. And the X position is 8.75, enter. All right, so that's all we need for our score lines, and that's where we're going to be folding our card. The next thing we need to do is put in the cut lines. And the directions say, start at the first score line on the left-hand side of the card and down 1.5 inches from the top to create a cut line that ends. Okay, so let's go to the shape tool again, and we're going to get another score line. So I did a little counting on my fingers, and I know from here to here is 7 inches. So I'm going to change the height of my score line to 7 and hit enter. Then I'm going to hold the shift key down on my keyboard so that I can easily rotate this in increments. And now I'm going to bring it up here. Now, let's remember, where was this first score line? What position was the first score line at? Right, 1.75. So I'm going to make this score line start at 1.75 and hit enter. And then the instructions say that I want it to be down 1.5 inches from the top. So remember, we were making this 0 before, so stuff was at the tippy top. Now we want it down 1.5 inches, so I'm going to put that in there and hit enter, and that is perfectly where I want it to be. So I'm going to duplicate that one, and it says the next score line is going to be, the second cut line is going to be 4 inches down from the top. So the first thing we want to do is change this so it's at 1.75, because that's where the first score line is, and I want my cut to go from this score line to this score line. All right, so we know it's at 1.75, and it says it should be 4 inches down. So hit the 4 and enter. All right, now that's exactly where we need it to be. So, but you might be thinking, well, it said to cut those, and those are score lines. Well, that's easy to change. All we have to do is click on this one and come up here under line type and change it to cut. Now that's going to cut. Come down here, click on this score line, change it to cut. And there we go. And that's all we need to do except for one more crucial thing, and I'll show you why. If we just go to make it right now, all those score lines are going to be here on this page. The cut lines are going to be, well, those must have been cuts too. Oh no, there's the cut lines. So they're all separated onto different mats. We don't want that. I canceled it. All I need to do is go back here and highlight everything and say attach. And now when we go to make it, notice it's just one mat now, and it's going to cut everything just like this. So I'm going to go cut that, and I'll be right back. Okay, I have my cardstock on my mat, but what I wanted to show you is this is the score tool that I use because I don't have a maker machine. So this is the score tool that I use. I'm not sure what you guys use in the maker, unfortunately. I'm saving my money to get one, but this is what I use in my Explorer Air 2. Okay, this is finished now, and I think you can just barely see the score lines. They are here, 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 and here. And again, this is the tool that did it. And then I have a cut line from here to here and here to here. So let me take this off of here. And by the way, this would work with just an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. As you can see, this is 8.5 by 11, my instruction sheet here. And this would definitely fit on a piece of cardstock that's 8.5 by 11. So the next thing that I do is I just start folding these, and kind of like as if I was doing one of those, just kind of fan folding it back and forth, right? Now the cardstock that I'm using does have a white core, which I don't really care for in these cards because it kind of shows up. So right here is what you have right now, right? So this is called a mountain fold because it's kind of like a mountain to me. This is a valley, a mountain and a valley. What I'm going to do to this middle section in here, this valley fold, I'm going to change it into a mountain fold. And this was a mountain fold, and I'm going to change it into a valley. And then it goes together just like this, and it opens like that. And the nice thing about these cards is they can actually, if somebody gets it, they can stand up like this, and you can have your embellishments on it. So again, what you can make, and I think I left them in my, yeah, here are different types of cards. Now notice how this goes. You can see this is this part folds up like that and it opens, and this one also folds up like that and opens. So that's all there is to it. Again, if you would like to get the directions written out for you, there are PDF files that I give out to my Patreons over at patreon.com/PattyAnn. But, you know, replay the video and get your dimensions there. The other thing that is in the Patreon page, however, are all of the dimensions that you need for these pieces. But again, you would be able to measure these if you want to on your own. I've just kind of taken a little bit of the work out for you and done some of the math. So either join me over at Patreon or measure it out yourself. But whatever you do, I'd love to see the cards that you guys make on our Facebook group. So be sure to join our Facebook group. Here's the link, or there's a link down below, right down there below the video. And then there's also a link down below for our Patreon group. So thanks again for joining me. If you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up and share and subscribe. Thanks. Bye-bye.